lights are bright here tonight at Blaine High School for a boys lacrosse cat clash between the Bengals of Blaine and the Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids Catbirds. Hello everybody, Ted LaRue taking you through this one here tonight between the red and blue and the baby blues this evening. Although the records on that graphic may be a little bit lopsided, it's always tense when these two teams tangle here today. And for both of these squads, it's pairs that are going to lead the way as far as getting goals on the scoreboard. First, for the Blaine Bengals, back we talked about 6-7. How about 4-5? First, we start with number 4, Stephen Axelrod. He had 4 goals at Anoka in their last game. He scored 3 or more goals in the game 5 times this year, so he's going to get it done, the sophomore midfielder. And the second part of that duo, number 5, Weston Johnson. He's coming off of a 4-goal game himself at Anoka. They beat the Tornadoes 13-10. 8 goals came between these two. 3 times he scored 3 or more goals in a game this season. On the other side for the Catbirds, we start first with Toby Tranby. He has scored in every game this season, before and over this season. 3 goals for him against Elk River Zimmerman, 2 against Champlain Park. And here you're looking at Caden Conkler, 2+ goals in 3 games this season. He had 3 against Mounds View earlier on this season. So those are going to be the scores for both of these teams that you're going to have to look out for. The Catbirds and the Bengals face-off is coming up next here on North Metro TV.
An apple core or potato peels. That leftover pizza you promised you'd eat.
Ew.
Those dirty napkins and paper towels. Stop treating us like garbage. Did you know up to 30% of what you're throwing away could be composted? Composting gives your discards new life, which can be used to improve soil. To learn more about the new organics drop-off programs available throughout the county and get your free starter kit, go to anokacounty.us/organics.
Welcome back to Blaine High School. Teams meeting at midfield as we get set for face-off here at Blaine High School between SLPCR and Blaine. Like we said at the top of the broadcast, SLPCR coming off their first win of the season, had lost every game before that, 9-8 over Andover in their last matchup. But this is a Blaine team that's really good. They're one of the highest scoring teams in the state right now. They are absolutely lethal. Scored 10+ games. 10+ goals, in a game 4 times this year. They're 3-1 in those games so far this season. And we were talking about the pair of Weston Johnson and Stephen Axelrod in the pregame there. They are 2nd and 3rd respectively in scoring in Section 7. So now when we're midway through the season, we're starting to prepare a little bit maybe for the section playoffs. In Section 7, it doesn't get any more lethal than that pair that we featured in the pregame for Blaine. We are set to go. First quarter, 12 minutes on the board. Blaine and Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids. A key for SLPCR is they're gonna have to find a way to get on the board right away because of that lethal attack that we mentioned for Blaine and just how much that they can score in some of these games. If Blaine is able to kind of get that big lead in this one, it's gonna be tough for SLPCR to come back. Jackson Rice for the Catbirds. And it's Logan Schlichting there for Blaine. And a scrum at midfield, and it's going to be picked up by the long stick right here at about midfield. This is Riley Quinn. Riley Quinn had it turned over. Nice defensive play early for the Catbirds. Here comes Lamari Brown. If that name is familiar, one of the leading rushers in Spring Lake Park football history. There's going to be some familiar names from that state championship football team. Brown's pass a little bit too strong out in front of Toby Tranby down behind the goal line. Bengals looking to set an attack pass a little bit too strong there on the far side. Beyond the stick of number 1, Blake Bunis. 11 goals on the season for him. He's 3rd on the team in scoring this season. Catbirds will set things up as they're going to Kyan Labansky at the top. Feeds things back to the top. Willing to take their time, decipher the defense. Here comes a drive down the alley, shot wide, but the race is won by Caden Conkler. So the Catbirds will keep the ball and look to set things up from behind the net. Wheeling things back, there's Labansky. Labansky to Conkler. Some nice tight defense there by Ashton Truchon for Blaine. Bengals looking to set up their own attack. Here's Riley Theris, goaltender, 6-2 record. He started every game for Blaine thus far. 8 games in. This is the 9th for the Bengals this season. This is Axelrod. Axelrod with the ball as he gets this one in deep, right in front, right in the center. That's exactly where you want to be. At X, throws it in front, but just the ball could not be handled there to get a really good shot attempt on net. And here comes Brown. Brown feeds it off over there to the long stick as we take another look right in front, but that's a really nice job defensively from Lamari Brown, but there wasn't as much defense at the other end as Blaine is on the board for the first goal of the game. And there's one of the guys that we saw in the open. It is number 5, Weston Johnson. You see Johnson just has the edge on the defenders off of the turnover, and he finds a way to score to put Blaine up front early. That is Johnson's 21st goal of the season. Ties him with Axelrod atop the Blaine roster. Out for the Catbirds, Jackson Rice had it at center, or had it at midfield, excuse me. You could hear the collision of the two sticks, and now a ground ball. Who's going to be able to scoop this one up? Nobody. We've got a whistle. And Blaine will take possession here. There you see the scrum for it. This is Logan Schlichting. Schlichting all the way at the top. Johnson and Axelrod jog onto the field. This is Johnson. Now feeds it off. Some good ball rotation here for the Bengals, and a big hit from Brown. That's the physicality of Lacrosse there, and Brown has been a really good defender for the Catbirds thus far in this game. Weaving is Blake Mellum through the middle. Mellum trying to get the ball there to his teammate Cy Larson, but mishandled, and now here come the Bengals right up midfield. All the way up the alley now. Gonna reset and look for another opportunity. Johnson feeds it up to Axelrod. Those are the guys. They're gonna be up at the top. Look to kind of get a rush towards the net. Here's Bunis. Bunis will just jog his way all the way behind the net at X. As he gets the engine humming here a little bit faster. Pass in front, shot a little bit wide. That's Tyler Reinhart. 7 goals, 3 assists on the year for him, and he just fired it wide. Outside of that one turnover that did lead to the goal, SLPCR has had a pretty good defensive structure in this game against the Blaine attack. There you see some tight, you see contact, you see active sticks, and none more active than the long stick midi right there is Sawyer Jolkowski, creating the turnover. But just like that, it will go back to the Bengals. There's Jokowski. Some nice defense. Blaine looking to fight around, turns the corner. There's a shot. It gets past Brody Gemlo. And we've got a goal. A late penalty marker comes out. The goal will count. Officials getting together to see what exactly this is. We saw the flag come out after the goal was scored. We'll take another look here. Just turning the corner, you see the hit to the head and then the goal. A really nice effort for 18 Wyatt Parent. th goal of the year for Parent. And an early 2-0 lead for the Bengals. We mentioned early in this game, going to have to, Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids, they're going to have to get some goals on the board early, but so far it's been the Blaine attack that's been able to do their thing. Now back behind the net at X. And now rotating around, this is Grant Frischman. Frischman feeds it up. 1 minute for slashing is the call. This is Axelrod. Blaine man up right now. Feeds it over to Bunis. And they're just willing to rotate, look for the correct opportunity, trading places right now. There's that stick that's much needed for the Catbirds. Josiah Robb, 33 in blue, was able to get in there to knock it away momentarily. And that's just a clear down to the other end. Chasing for it, not quite fast enough there, was Larson. Here comes Axelrod. Nice pass, fires from the wing. I think that one might have went off the post and out of play, but it will stay with the Bengals. They win the chase behind the net that Brody Gemlo is protecting. Brody Gemlo, starter on the defensive tackle for the Spring Lake Park State Championship football team, was an absolute menace on the interior defensive line for John Stewart's club in the fall. Winning their first state title since 1991. In at X, but pressured. But a really nice job maneuvering the defense, finding the small window. That's Weston Johnson with the goal, his second of the game. And we see how Johnson, you see how tightly he's defended. Gemlo kind of just comes out of his stance a little bit and allows the opening and allows Blaine to take a 3-0 lead. Coming into this matchup, Weston Johnson, 1 goal behind Steven Axelrod. Now he's 1 goal up as the team leader, as the Bengals' top scorer. The field has been totally slanted in favor of Blaine. And right as I say that, Spring Lake Park, Coon Rapids trying to get an attack of the round. Here comes Caden Conkler. Long stick, fires, and he got it from distance. Conkler gets it to go. They say the announcer's jinx, but maybe that's the announcer's encouragement right there. Right as I was saying, they haven't been able to get an offensive attack. Just like that, Caden Conkler from 20 yards out. The velocity. And the one-hopper for the goal. Here comes Axelrod off the opening draw. And he'll quickly go to the sideline. Or no, my mistake. He comes back on. Axelrod feeds it up to Bunis. He tries to break down the defense. Feeds it off to the wing. Rotating around. There's some good defensive play by the long stick. And now he's going to hold it out in front of him and see if he can get something back going back the other way. Sawyer Jolkowski, he throws, and that's just a little bit outside. It's really fun to watch the long stick defensively and then get a lot of torque on that shot. You'll see it from the behind angle here. Just a little bit off. Theris was there. Looks like he had the left side of the net certainly covered. This is Conkler at the top. He's got the lone goal on the board for the Catbirds. Nice move to get free. He fires, looking to one-hop it again. Try to power this one into the ground to get the right bounce up. Theris is able there to make the save. Back up top, this is Labansky. Labansky feeds it over. That's Conkler on the far side. Backed up to Labansky. Around to Mellum. Just a trio working at the top here, looking for an opening. This is Labansky at X. In front, catches, fires. Left-handed shot, wide from Toby Tranby. I think he kind of had a little bit of trouble getting that in his net to fire that. Did not fire it, I think, as soon as he wanted to right off the catch. Up top to Conkler. Talked about Conkler and Tranby. Multi-sports athletes. Conkler, starting wide receiver on the state championship football team. Toby Tranby, defenseman for SLPCR boys hockey during the winter. Pass a little bit off from Mellum, but he's able to corral it with his net. Some physical defense, trying to work free. And he is certainly harassed getting in towards the net there. Ashton Truchon is able to kind of shove him back a little bit. Conkler winds, fires. That one had some steam on it once again from 20 yards out. Those are really the only shots that the Catbirds have available to them right now. Blaine doing a really good job keeping SLPCR from running the alley towards the net. Larson to Labansky. And now this is Boston Green, another member of that SLPCR boys hockey team in the winter. Green shuffling at X behind the net, looking for something in front. But well covered, good defensive structure and discipline here for the Bengals. Labansky winds, fires. That one is by the Catbirds, so they're going to keep it. This is Green. Green winds around, but some pretty good defense there. Tristan Budzinski, I believe it was. You heard the sticks kind of clash together. Up in midfield, stringing some passes together. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful play from coast to coast. And the finish from Grant Frischman at the other end. In basketball, you see it where they just chain a couple of chest passes together down the field. This was a very similar thing where you didn't need to carry the ball very much. Another look at it and the finish. That's the end of it for Johnson. A couple of chain passes together led to that. About a minute to go. 3-goal lead here for the Bengals. Right at that goal, that Conkler goal was an opportunity maybe for SLPCR to get things going back in their favor, but much of the first quarter has been played where the ball is being occupied right now, and that is on the Blaine attacking end of the field. This is Weston Johnson. Johnson willing to take his time, see if they can get one more good look before this quarter comes to an end. Braden Hemquist defending Johnson here. Johnson outside. There's a shot. Nice save. Gemlo got his stick down. It might have went off the post a little bit too as we get down to 10 seconds to play. Ground ball. We'll see who can pick this one up. Whistle is blown, excuse me. 6 seconds to go, and it's going to be SLPCR ball, but they got a long ways to go. They're just going to chuck it all the way down, and this quarter is going to come to an end. Blaine got off to a hot start, and they finished exactly where they needed to. Bengals 4, Catbirds 1 after 1. Second quarter on the other side here on North Metro TV.
Wash your hands. Scrub them while you sing this song. Wash. Rub your hands and fingers and the places in between. Using soap and water makes your hands so clean. Wash your hands. Great job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now dry.
Wash your hands for 20 seconds, just like Elmo.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
We are back at Blaine High School. A little bit of a chilly night. Here we've got fans bundled up. We've got winter caps. We've got winter jackets. We've got hoods. 47 degrees here. A little bit windy west to northwest, 13 miles an hour here at Blaine High School this evening. Blaine's been, yeah, you see the folks that are bundled up here this evening. Although it is May, we haven't gotten out of the spring that is Minnesota just quite yet. Sometimes we got to get all the way out of the spring season. We got to get to graduation to be able to enjoy 60, 70, 80 degrees consistently. Back to action here. Bengals 4-1 advantage over Spring Lake Park. Coon Rapids as we get the second quarter going here in Blaine. A lot of contact there off that opening draw. Long pass ahead, connects to Mellum. Mellum going straight down the alley. Nice pass, a little bit off. Was looking for Ryan Nielsen. Now Blaine takes possession. Here's Thayers. Thayers pressured a little bit, forces him to dish it off to the long stick. Stringing some nice passes together. Not willing to force it. Just look for a good shot. You know, when you've got that multi-goal advantage, you can certainly afford to be patient. This is Johnson. Back behind the net. Blaine working, running all the way back up to the top here. Nice pass in front. That's a beautiful find by Bunis. And I believe it was Johnson right in front, which would be his third goal for him tonight. Another look at this one. Bam! Beautiful accuracy right there to Johnson, threading the needle. And he has been the main man so far in this one. Johnson, 3 goals tonight, 23 now on the season. And they're up 5-1. Bunis is credited for the assist. And for Weston Johnson, this is just more of the same. We said it in the pregame, 4 goals against Anoka, and now 3 already here against SLPCR. He is really hitting his stride here towards late in this Blaine lacrosse season. Bengals once ahead and have possession, trying to go on the ground, but a nice save getting the net down was Gemlo, keeping the ball out of the net. Long pass ahead. Here come the Catbird, Zolkowski. The long stick. Haven't had many of these opportunities where they're able to kind of rotate it around and get a true offensive attack. And that pass just a little bit off. Blaine wins the race, and just as quickly as they got in position to attack, they kind of give up that opportunity. Bengals stringing some passes together. That one a little bit high for Axelrod. He's able to get it, but knocked off of his feet. A couple of Catbirds there, including Josiah Robb, with some physical defensive play. We'll stay with the Bengals here. Zolkowski providing a really good effort there for SLPCR. This is Bunis. Bunis working around through the contact. Looking for that pass in front of the other post. Was just a little bit off. Weston Johnson corrals for the second chance Blaine opportunity. Johnson more than content. So just wait, zooms right past Axelrod. Johnson looking for number 4. Instead, he's going to dish out to a teammate with some quick passing. Streaking right down the alley is Axelrod. He's not able to catch it in his net, but he recorrals. Axelrod right in front, spin move away, but 2 Catbirds are there to force the pass. Bunis now feeds it off down the alley, and there's a goal. Guess who? Mr. Weston Johnson. Back-to-back 4-goal games for Weston. And the bells are tolling, and it has been every time Weston Johnson, it has been the SLPCR has heard the bells of the goal score, and it's 6-1. Johnson, Parent, Johnson, Frischman, Johnson, Johnson. It's the goal scoring sequentially for the Bengals here today. And right off the draw, coming straight up is Schlichting. But he's forced out by an SLPCR defender. Now he's just going to take a seat on the bench here. This is Bunis and Johnson at the top. Wyatt Parent was streaking into the middle. Pass was a little bit off, and Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids will take possession. (18-18) right here, and the defensive 18 right now is winning this battle. That is Blaine's Wyatt Parent. Here's Johnson behind the net. He finds himself at X. Johnson is back to the net. Almost backing the defender down like he's an NBA post player or something. Turns the ball over as we get a whistle here.
If there are any youth players or anybody who wants to help pick up the ball after at halftime.
It looked like there was an offside call. Blaine has possession on their attacking side of the field. 30-second offside. So now the Bengals will be man up. Axelrod, he had some smoke on that one. That one goes a little bit wide. He hasn't gotten a ton of opportunities so far in this one. Johnson works this one around Bunis. Some good SLPCR defense led by Lamari Brown alongside Brody Gamelow. Parent works it up to Johnson, and Johnson will just chill for a moment. Defended by Blake Mellum. Mellum the initial stick, whacking at it. Johnson was able to get it to Frischman, but Frischman could not ground that one in a little bit wide. Bengals will. Should be Blaine ball there. Yeah, it's behind the net. It was Frischman, and there you can. Frischman now will have the ball at X. Frischman feeds to Johnson. Johnson, there's a shot, and we've got another one. He was getting knocked off the ball quite a bit, but he was just able to stay with it, stay with it, stay with it, and he ends up with yet another goal. You take a look at it this time, it was kind of knocked off, and this is like a fadeaway shot, and somehow it gets past Gamelow. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout here called, and a chance for SLPCR to really regroup. And it's very simple to identify what's been happening. It's been the Weston Johnson show. 3 consecutive goals for this one, for Johnson ever since the second quarter started at 10:54, 8:05, and 5:46 to go in this one. Here's what's coming up for the Catbirds after this one. They're going to have a couple of home games, Rogers and Armstrong Cooper, before going on the road for a couple of 7 p.m. draws against the Roseville Raiders and the co-op of Osseo Park Center here coming up. So it was big for them. You see it at the top of the graphic there. It was big for them to finally get that first win of the season, winning 9-8 over Andover, but this is a really good Blaine team. This is going to be one of the top teams in Section 7, especially after that recent 6-4 victory over Centennial for the Bengals. So this is a real measuring stick to see exactly where the Catbirds are following that victory over the Huskies. Under 6 minutes to play. Jackson Rice is in there for the draw for SLPCR, but instead this one is going to be won by Logan Schlichting. And now the Bengals will try to figure things out and see if they can get another goal here. We've got a whistle, and now we've got a timeout called by the Bengals here with 5:31 to go until the half. We took a look at what's coming up for the Catbirds. Here's what's coming up for the Bengals after this one. They're going to travel across the border, across the St. Croix River to take on Hudson from Wisconsin over there, and then a couple of non-conference home games against the Edina Hornets and Orono before traveling out to Robbinsdale to take on Armstrong Cooper. But this is a really, you've been able to see it, I think, so far in this game, is although Weston Johnson is scoring a bunch of goals, there is a good amount of depth on this team, and I think that makes them really dangerous. We, of course, in the at the top of the broadcast, we mentioned Steven Axelrod, but there's also Wyatt Parent, Blake Bunis, Tyler Reinhardt. We've seen Grant Frischman score in this one. We've seen Logan Schlichting win draws in the middle. We've seen some good defensive plays. We've called Riley Quinn's name. So this is a really strong team and certainly one of the top contenders in Section 7, maybe when all is said and done, to make it to the state tournament. Axelrod will start with the ball out of the timeout here for Blaine. Axelrod feeds this one up top. Mishandled there by Brennan Freeling. Trying to get it back to Axelrod. The long stick of Caden Conkler. There, ground ball, everybody's battling for it, trying to scoop this one up. And it is scooped up here. Bengals right in the middle, but just couldn't handle it. Right in front of the net, deep in the alley, was Blake Bunis. Caden Conkler chasing after this one. He's able to get this one, but it'll stay with SLPCR. Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids trying to piece together a couple. Here's Mellum. Some defenders quickly converge on him, led by Joey Kulis. This is Labansky. Catbirds working its way around. Boston Green. Here comes Green. Freeling with the stick, but Green is able to battle through it. I think that one went off the post. Great scoring opportunity for the Catbirds. Does not go their way. Boston Green trying to find an alley, but many of them are blocked. There's a long shot from distance, and that's a nice save. Tranby with the attempt. Theris got his net up there to deny the opportunity. Mari Brown will get this one started. Fades it off to Tranby. Mellum in the middle. Back out. This is Caden Conkler. He's got the only goal on the board so far for SLPCR today. Conkler looking to create space from distance, but there's theirs again. He's able to make the save. 6-2 record this season, said that earlier today. Just north of 8.5 goals against average, saving 59% of the shots that he's faced this year. SLPCR working the way up the field, piecing some passes together, and now they have a chance to attack. Boston Green at the top. Green gets past his initial defender, and he's able to sneak it past theirs for the goal, and the second one on the board for SLPCR. There you see Green just kind of sneaking it in the opposite post. One hopper. And now a 5-goal deficit for the Catbirds here against Blaine. Kaz Piska off the draw, has possession, getting pressured with the stick by Riker Packy. And we get a timeout here called by the Bengals. Scoring aplenty to start this second quarter. 2 goals in the first 4 minutes from Weston Johnson. But now in the last, 6.5, 7 minutes or so, just 2 goals that we had in the opening 4 minutes. So the pace of play has kind of slowed down a little bit between these two teams, which is, Blaine, you get out to that 7-1 lead. Now it's cut to 5 at 7-2. You're fine, certainly playing at the slower pace. But if you're SLPCR, you need to find more opportunities in your attacking end. Too much of this game, as far as from a Catbirds perspective, too much of this game is being played at Blaine's attacking end. Time of possession is really a key factor here right now, and a lot of that starts with winning draws. That's something that needs to be. It's a lot like hockey. You can control the pace of play. You can control, the way everything is shifting and how it's dictated by winning draws and possessing the ball, of course, in lacrosse, puck in hockey. So if they could, but Blaine really good in the draw circle. So if SLPCR can maybe start to flip that a little bit, maybe they're going to be able to control this one and maybe put a few more goals on the board. But until that happens, this one very much in Blaine's favor. You see Axelrod with the ball, sub 140. Here to go in the second until halftime. Ted LaRue along with you, North Metro TV Cat Clash here for you on a Wednesday night, a 44-degree Wednesday night here in Blaine, Minnesota. Axelrod defended by Brown. Gets it to Johnson in the middle. Johnson was not able to handle it, and now he wins the race for it, so Blaine will keep possession. Gets it back down to Johnson, pumps once, and buries it again. I'm losing count. That is 6 goals now for Johnson in the game. This was the first attempt. He was trying to wield it behind his head, it almost looked like there. And then you see the one pump going up top. It's just too easy for him right now, and this is his season high for goals in a game now with 6, and he's done it in 1/2 here against the Catbirds. Here comes Axelrod. He was looking to get it to Reinhardt, and Reinhardt got excited. There was a lot of open space, but just was not able to quite corral the ball in his net. Now sub 1 minute, final minute here of the first half. The high-scoring Blaine attack has not disappointed, with 8 balls tickling the twine here tonight. .30 seconds to go. We've got a violation, and the ball will go to SLPCR, so Blaine will not get another chance at it here. Here comes Lamari Brown. All the way up to midfield. I believe it was an offside call. And this one will come back with possession from the Bengals. See if they can get another one. 15 seconds to play. Right down the alley. Fantastic opportunity, but this one fired wide. Tyler Reinhardt had a chance at it, and he knew he had a chance at it. Just goes high and wide. That would have made it number 9 in the first half for the Bengals. Brody Kemlo fumbled that ball a little bit, and he's getting pressured by Weston Johnson, making it a little bit spooky here. But no harm done. It has been all Blaine. It has been all Weston Johnson. 6 of the 8 goals in this game have been scored by that man. Domination for the Bengals, +6 as we go into the break. Highlights, second half, coming up on the other side here on North Metro TV. It's a good day to be Weston Johnson. Welcome back to Blaine High School as we're getting ready to start the second half. Bengals 8, Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids 2. It's been all baby blues in the first half, but how did it happen? Here's how it happened. Weston Johnson got the scoring started within 3 minutes of this game, and yeah, some good defensive play from Lamari Brown. Physical play, but yeah, they responded. Wyatt Parent putting it in to give Blaine a 2-0 lead, but we talk about Weston Johnson won't be the first time to puts Blaine ahead 3-0 right away, but Caden Conkler kind of allowing SLPCR to claw back to make it 3-1, but under 2 minutes to go here in the fourth, or in the first, excuse me. Grant Frischman finishes 4-1 Bengals after 1, but this is where things really got going for Johnson. 1 goal, and then about a minute later, another goal from Weston Johnson. 3 goals within about 5 minutes for Mr. Johnson. Boston Green got the second goal on the board for SLPCR, but 6 goals in the first half for Weston is the story of the game, and that's where we sit right now, an 8-2 advantage, and there he is. He's on the sideline, but either he's going to be there for the rest of the game or he won't be there for long. One of those two is certainly true as we get going here in the second half. Ted LaRue along with you, North Metro TV, on a little bit of a chilly night, sub 50-degree temperatures here in Blaine, but we are ready to start the second half, and we are ready for more lacrosse. 12 minutes on the board as we get going. The draw is won. We talk about SLPCR winning draws in the first half. That's exactly what they need to do. Jackson Rice wins it, and he feeds it up. That was Vinny Nerdahl. He was able to get it back. And now up through the middle, this is Lamari Brown. And a whistle, and now Blaine will take possession. Blaine looking to create a rush back towards their attacking net. Here is Johnson. Like we said, he wasn't on the bench for very long. This is Axelrod. Here's a chance. He bounces one past Gemlo, and it does not take long for the Bengals to get on the board. There's 48 seconds into this one. Nice pass, and then just that is one of the toughest shots to stop when you have when it's kind of going towards your ankles a little bit, but it short hops right in front of you. 9-2 Blaine. SLPCR now at their attacking end. Looking to get something set up. Here's Conkler. Feeds it back to Lebansky. This is Toby Tranby. Haven't heard a ton from him. We featured him in the pregame, one of the leading scorers for the Catbirds coming into this one. Now behind the net at X, this is Larson. Larson being defended by Jackson Wilson. Some good passing in front, and there's a goal for the Catbirds, and they respond with one of their own. It is Ryan Nielsen, just his second goal of the season. We talk about that good passing. It started with Blake Mellum, ends with Nielsen right in front of the goal. And it's 1-1 so far here in the second half. Back to a 6-goal game. These ever important draws, if Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids wants to get it done. Jackson Rice has been their man in those battles, and he was not able to win right off the draw, and that's a little bit more physical contact than the officials would have liked. So now Blaine will take possession. Axelrod scored on the last possession for Blaine. This is Johnson being defended up top by Braden Hemquist. Now Axelrod ducks, dips, and gets around Packy. In behind at X, out to Johnson. Thought about it and sees, feeds to Bunis. Looking to get it back to Johnson, but he was defended very well, tightly by Josiah Robb. We've called his name a couple of times when referring to some strong SLPCR defensive plays here tonight. Here's Brown. Brown to Mellum. Here's Conkler, jumps, fires. That's a nice save by theirs. And now that allows Blaine to sprint back. See if they can get into double digits on this possession. Now the Bengals settle into the attacking end. This is Grant Frischman. He's got a goal in this one. Frischman feeds it back to Bunis. He had it kind of poked away, but the Bengals recover. They'll continue their offensive attack here. Lamari Brown defending, making it difficult. Loose ball, now ground ball. In the middle, looking to scoop it up. Sticks colliding. This one shot just a little bit high of Gimlo. I'm not sure who got that shot off. We'll take another look at it right here. You see the ground ball. And Johnson, and then, yeah, right there, 18 Wyatt Parent just kind of whacks at it like it's a hockey stick. He doesn't really possess the ball in his net too long. But the Catbirds survive double digits, well, at least for the time being. Contact on the drive. Nothing called. We've got Gemlo absolutely laying out in a Blaine attacker. Down goes Tyler Reinhardt. Whistle. We'll take another look at it. Here comes Johnson. That one's chopped away. That's some good defense, but watch Gemlo just deplete Tyler Reinhardt there. Getting set up here. We'll see, there is going to be likely a man up somewhere. Yeah, so 2 penalties called on Spring Lake Park, Coon Rapids, and the avalanche of bad news continues. Make it a lucky number 7 for Weston Johnson. Scores with 7:39 to go here in the third. There you see Johnson just popping between 2 defenders and going up top. Gemlo had no chance at that one. Johnson's first goal of the second half. Draw was won by SLPCR, but Blake Mellum could not control the ball. Blaine will now take possession. There's finally decided to give it up about 25 yards or so. We've got a penalty marker here coming in. Here comes Bunes. Feeds it up top. Here's Axelrod. Axelrod sees an opening, but that one quickly closes. SLPCR might have baited him into that one. Pass a little bit off target, picked up by Riker Packy, and he had his stick chopped out. I believe this was the call. Yeah, right there. You see the contact. This is a physical game down there. No doubt about it. There is a lot of hitting going on. That's Ryan Nielsen. He'll take a break for a while. It's 1 minute for unnecessary roughness there for Nielsen. Axelrod. See if they can take advantage of the man-up opportunity to Johnson. Johnson. Some really nice defense there. That was Sawyer Jolkowski. I've called his name more than one time when referring to some good defensive play. Now SLPCR, man down opportunity. They couldn't make anything of it. Bengals +7 about midway through quarter number 3 here at Blaine High School. Bouncing ball gets past Axelrod, and the Catbirds will take possession. Lamari Brown starts off with it. Now Blaine with possession. Axelrod. Lamari Brown playing physical play, 4-on-4. Here comes Johnson. He's got room to roam. Johnson to Axelrod. Axelrod looking to fire. Some nifty footwork. Gets it back behind the net to X. Now back. Bunes, there's a shot. And it goes wide, but Blaine was back behind the net there, so they'll keep possession. Axelrod, Johnson, Bunis. Blake Bunis. Off to Johnson. Johnson had his stick whacked out of his hand. And now the ball's going to go to the Catbirds. Let's take another look at this one. Well, you see the long stick. Maybe it wasn't whacked as much as maybe poked is maybe a better way to describe that. Boston Green will settle in. Labansky works this one around. Some good active movement here from SLPCR. Winding, throwing a little bit high there from Larson. Cy Larson, 6 goals, 2 assists on the season. Another opportunity, and another one turned away by Blaine defensively. After a couple of nice defensive plays, Blaine will carry out. Here's how we kind of got to this moment. Just went right off of his face mask. Now that's using your head. Easy save at the other end by Brody Gimlo. Here comes Boston Green, looking to outrun Axelrod. Lost the ball for a moment, kicked it back to himself. Got a whistle. This one will stay with the Catbirds. Some physical play at the top. Larson had it taken away. Here's Tranby. Tranby had the alley turned away, getting him to not allowing him through the middle of this Blaine defense. Here's Labansky. Now Larson. Larson dancing around a little bit back there. Catbirds just looking for the right opportunity. Now we'll see if Green can rush. Green wheels it out, looking to get something towards the net. A little give and go. A little catch being played by Green and Conkler here. Conkler down low. Got somebody down there. Shot it high, though. That's Mellum right in front of theirs. The goalie for Blaine. SLPCR will keep possession. They run the race. Here's Larson looking to spin free. Back to Tranby. Tranby rolls, fires, just tried to extend his net and fire it around a defender. Was not able to get it to go. Now the Bengals have the ball at their attacking end. Approaching the 2.5-minute mark here in the third quarter. This is Ian Katzenmacher. Pressured out there by William Harkis. Just 2 goals so far in this quarter for Blaine. Things have certainly slowed down at X behind the net. We'll see if they can heat things back up. The top, this is Katzenmacher. Feeds it off, Brandon Freeling. Freeling had it taken away, looking to win the race towards the ball. It looks like, yeah, Mellum's going to pick up that ball. So SLPCR has possession here. Here comes Blake Mellum through the middle. Mellum to Larson. Some good active passing up to Green at the top. Green at the center, looking to find a way through the alley. But Jolie Kulas was not going to allow that to happen. Some contact forced the ball free. Now here's Green looking to get a running start. Here comes Nielsen. Nielsen, there's a one hopper, but that ball had some springs in it and took a very high bounce over the net after the one hop. It's good tight defense, but here's Conkler looking to get free. Had the ball poked away momentarily. Got some sloppy play a little bit here for SLPCR. Ground ball. We'll see who comes away with this one. And it's picked up by the Bengals. Here goes Blaine, 20 seconds to go. They could have an opportunity to put double sticks on the board here. Down low. But a nice play, Brody Gimlo. We've got some contact afterwards. But man, right at point blank, you would have thought for sure that would have been goal number 11 for the Bengals. Didn't go. And we've reached the end of the third quarter. Just 3 total goals and just 2 by Blaine in that third quarter. The pace certainly slowed down a little bit, but it's Bengals 10, Catbirds 3. Back for the fourth quarter after this on North Metro TV.
To Sophia and Gabriel. Even though these old knees can't follow on your adventure to the forest today, these flowers represent my love. These stitches and threads join us together. And wherever you see a flower, a bird, a beautiful tree, know that my love is with you.
Make the forest part of your story at a park near you. Find one at discovertheforest.org.
We are back. It's been a good day to dance if you are supporting Blaine Boys Lacrosse here today. And that's what that young man is doing exactly. He looks at the scoreboard and it's certainly happy times. Bengals 10, Catbirds 3. After 3, just 12 minutes left in this one. Ted LaRue along with you here today, and you know, the first quarter and the second quarter, we saw the offensive prowess, certainly that Blaine had. 5 goals total, 4 from Blaine, 1 from SLPCR were scored in the first quarter. And then you look at 5 goals, all scored by Weston Johnson in the second quarter by Blaine. Or 4 from Weston Johnson, I should say. 5 total when you add in the Boston Green their shot there right now. But in the third quarter, just 2 Blaine goals and then 1 from Ryan Nielsen to put the third on the board here from SLPCR. This is the end of the fourth quarter right here. A great play in front. It looked like the ball came out of the net of number 3, Grant Frischman, down in there. So you haven't seen many of those opportunities down in front of Brody Gemlo, not resulting in scores, and that was the end result. It looked like the ball just kind of came loose from inside his net, and that's why we remain at 10-3 instead of 11-3. Underway here in quarter number 4. Bengals rushing up the field. We've got whistles. And they're going to play it back here to the midfield. It's going to be Blaine ball here. Here's Weston Johnson. Out to Bunis. Oh, some perfect passing. That one went off the post. Gimlo was hugging that post as well, making it tough to kind of go to the inside. We'll see if the Bengals get another opportunity here. Ground ball near midfield, and whistle blows. Yeah, this is another great look. Wyatt Parent with the shot. That one just going off the post, up top. Gimlo thanking the Orange Pipes, keeping this one score-wise the way it is. Weston Johnson picks up the penalty. 30 seconds for holding. Now we'll see if Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids can take advantage. Man up. Conkler feeds it to Larson. Tranby back to Conkler. Conkler fires from about 15 yards out. This one popped high into the air. That one certainly had some springs behind it. Here's Caden Conkler. Conkler, nice feed. One hop shot there from Levansky. Next save from Thayers. Bouncy ball picked up. Here come the Bengals. Wines, fires. There's a shot. Gemlo doesn't know where it was. He made the save. Powerful shot from Brady Pierpoint. And that is the last. I must have missed that one there as we were, but Tyler Reinhardt gets on the board, and that's the first goal here of the fourth quarter. Wasn't quite sure what happened after that first opportunity. Not much of a reaction, but I suppose when you're up by 7 goals already, you're pretty settled in with what's happening. 10 minutes to go here in the fourth. After the Tyler Reinhardt goal. Blaine with possession, working up the far sideline. Big hit over there from Daniel Vizcarra Davis. Blaine will take possession, under 10 minutes to play. And I believe we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, it will be a timeout. Looks like it's being called by Blaine. Tyler Reinhardt with the goal earlier in the fourth quarter, putting Blaine ahead 11-3. Bengals have outscored SLPCR 3-1 here in the second half. When you look at the first half, it was 8-2 in favor of the Bengals at the break. So there has certainly been a change of pace here in the second half so far, but it has been a marquee type of performance for Weston Johnson here today. His season high in goals, 7. He's scored so far in this one, and especially in that second quarter, he was unstoppable. 4 of his 7 coming in that second quarter. You can see a little bit windy with the flag blowing, but a little cloudy, but the sunset is showing its colors certainly here at Blaine High School this evening. 9:47 to play here in the fourth quarter, and a commanding 8-goal lead for the Bengals. New goalie in net here for Blaine. That is 44, Josh Harris. He has just 8 minutes of play in 2 games thus far this season. He's faced 2 shots, saved 1 of them, allowed a goal in the other. We'll see how he does here in this last 9 minutes and change for the Bengals. This is Axelrod looking to set up a attack here for Blaine. Axelrod got some hop in his step a little bit, but he decides to just hang out at X and see if he can set up another opportunity. Axelrod back to Johnson. Johnson looking to pass. Colliding sticks down there. Blaine comes away with it and behind the net. This is Landon Rice. Rice looking to jab free. He'll rotate this one to the top. Nice cut there from Parent, but Lamare Brown shadowing him with some good defense. There's Freelane at the top. Pass a little bit too off to the side for Parent. Brody Gemlo is going to bring this one out a little bit. One top, Mellum will come away with it. Here's Blake Mellum. Fade that off. Boston Green now back at the top, getting whacked at by some Blaine defenders. Rotates it all the way down in behind the net at X. Here's Toby Tranby. Tranby looking to get a little bit of a head start. Nice spin move. Tranby, nice pass in front. Mellum shot it wide from point blank, and this one should go back to the Bengals. Oh, a beautiful opportunity. That's exactly when you want when you start behind the net. Try to find someone directly in front at point blank. Just couldn't get it to go. Here's Weston Johnson having the ball in the attack. He'll kind of spin of it, think better of the attack, kind of regroup. Get something like this going on, a free run at the net. Create some space, why don't we? Around here to the near side to Parent. Parent looking for the alley. He cuts around, looking to winds, fires, and that's a nice save by Gemlo. He stood strong. That shot had some smoke on it for sure. This is Vinny Nerdahl trying to go up the middle. Ground ball, Boston Green, Toby Tranby battling for it. Tranby comes away with it. Tranby with the run, pass in front, but it was knocked away. Let's see if he can recover off this ground ball. And he does indeed. In behind, a lot of contact. In front, bouncing ball, and there is this, or I should say Harris, excuse me. Harris now in there. Harris is able to keep it out. Under 6 minutes to go here in the fourth. A lot of contact out there. Parent comes away with it for Blaine. Bengals 6-2 on the year, looking for win number 7. Blaine and Centennial sit atop the Northwest Suburban Conference standings. Look at this ducking and diving through the defense there. Jackson Rice defending for SLPCR. Back to Parent here on the wing. Parent puts his foot in the ground. Now parallel with the goal line. Parent able to get it away. Rebound chance. Gemlo way outside of the net area. Blaine's defense just double teaming, pushing Boston Green all the way out of bounds. And it leads to a goal from Weston Johnson. 7 is heaven, but 8 is great. And it's 12-3 Bengals. After the Tyler Reinhardt goal within the first 2 minutes, about 5 minutes and change went by until that last Weston Johnson goal here in the fourth quarter. But that is 8 on the day. This is a game and a performance that he's going to remember for a very long time. Certainly a career night for Mr. Johnson. The ball always seemed to find him in a good spot. He certainly created a lot of those opportunities. There's still time to get more. You see the penalty flag come out after that attack. A lot of contact in rushing the net. Under 5 minutes to go here in the fourth. That's going to be a Blaine timeout. Still time left, 4 minutes and change to maybe get into double digits for Weston here today. But regardless, whether he gets there or not, it is one of the better lacrosse performances you will see right now. We talked about Blaine, what's next for them earlier. You kind of recapping what has happened thus far. They started off the season with a win over Matamidi on the road. And then double-digit goal performances, 13 against Totino Grace, 14 against Andover, 14-9 over Andover. Remember, this SLPCR team beat Andover 9-8. A loss to Elk River, Zimmerman, and Rogers. But it was that last win against Centennial on April 29th. This is a Centennial team, excuse me, that's 4-2, and they're also going to certainly be a factor in Section 7 when all is said and done. Here, they haven't played as many, Centennial, this is what we were talking about. They haven't played as many games this season, but a lot of common opponents. Blaine lost to Elk River Zimmerman, but Centennial won 14-6 earlier this year. Centennial's other loss was a 9-8 loss to the Knights of Irondale. But it says something about Centennial defensively, limiting this Blaine attack to just 6 goals. Weston Johnson on the sideline, at least for now. Bengals will get this one back in behind at X. Grant Frischman He's this one around. Of course, he plays hockey. Trevor Frischman, the head coach of Blaine boys hockey. They've really turned their program around in the last couple of years. Penalty marker comes out. Scooped up there by Katzenmacher. You see some John after the play, maybe some frustrations starting to set in a little bit. Jackson Rice, he's been the man in the draw circle for the Catbirds here tonight. New goalie in there for Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids. You've got Preston Resch. He's been in there for 34 minutes this season. He's faced 20 shots, 12 goals against, and 8 saves this season. Tyler Reinhardt. He's up to Lincoln Hughesby. Freshman gets it in behind the net. Looking to set up a good scoring chance. Back to Frischman. They're certainly creating some space here. There's a shot. One hopper goes a little bit wide. That was Logan Schlichting with the shot wide left. Here's Frischman, rotates it down low. Under 3 minutes to go, back to Frischman. He's not able to hold on to it. Pass a little bit low there. It's going to be picked up. Well, it looked like it was picked up by Hughesby. Now it's Schlichting. This one popped high in the air. It will stay with the Bengals as they win the race out there. Landon Rice chase that ball down. Give and go there behind the net. Shot goes wide. It'll stay with Blaine as Frischman was the first to it. Blaine just willing to just play a little catch here. Enjoying a 9-goal advantage from the very beginning. They established that their offense was here to play and that it was Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids was going to have to do a lot to slow it down. And although the pace has slowed here, it's certainly been a lot of scoring, fast pace. When Blaine was really on, they were unstoppable out there here tonight. See if Spring Lake Park Coon Rapids can end on a good note. We got a ground ball. They pick it up, and they're going to have a chance to create an opportunity. And that was opportunity intercepted, and Blaine creates the turnover, and now they're looking to do something back with another offensive end. 1 minute to go. We'll see if they can make it lucky number 13 when this one is, see if they can create that double-digit advantage. Right now, 9-goal lead for the Bengals. Nice pass in the middle, big contact. Lamari Brown, multiple, three penalty markers come out. Lamari has been very physical for SLPCR, no doubt about that. You see the contact. Brown up high. On 31, Brandon Freeling. .43 seconds remaining. 1 minute body checking is the call against Brown. Clock starts. A low ground ball shot. Doesn't really pose much of a threat. Both teams reserve goalies as of right now, and more shoulders being thrown at the midfield area. No love lost between these two teams for sure. You have two Blaine defenders just pressuring and riding Braden Hemquist out of bounds there. 10 seconds to go. This is Frischman, and he's just going to let this one go. No last shot here. It was all Bengals from the very beginning. The final mark. They put 12 on the board and only allowed 3, a +9 on the final board for the Blaine Bengals. But this one was all about Weston Johnson. 8 goals throughout this matchup is certainly the story of this game and what he was able to do. He scored the first goal of this game, and then made it 2-1, and from then on, or 3-0 I should say, and then from then on it was all Blaine. We want to thank you for watching tonight's presentation of boys lacrosse here on North Metro TV. A lot of numbers, crooked numbers in the column for Blaine. 12-3 the final score. For our director, Charles Brolin, and our entire crew at North Metro TV, I'm Ted LaRue saying good night from Blaine.